Hey, this is Dustin with Home Mender. Today we're going to be installing an entry door into the back of the property. We have done a shed door video that swung out. This one's going to swing inside the house. So we're going to start by taking off the knobs and the catches because we're going to reuse the locks. Trusty screw gun. Obviously this door was a break-in, and now since the door is what it is and can't be repaired, we're going to go ahead and change everything. There's also some rod at the bottom of the door jamb, so we're going to get all that taken care of. Once we get the knob and the whatever we're going to use for the locks taken off, we're going to use our pry bar and our hammer. Start pulling off the brick mold. If this is caulked into the J-channel, you might want to cut that so you don't tear up your siding. Take the pry bar, get behind this piece of molding here, and just pull it off. It comes off pretty easy. Throw that somewhere in the yard out of the way. Do the other side. This one is really rotted, so it's going to come off easy. Alright, this is all done. We got the outside trim off. Now what I like to do, just to make it easier to work with, is go ahead and pull the screws out of the hinges of the door. Next, we're going to pull the jamb. Sometimes they come out pretty easy, sometimes we got to cut them out. So we're going to give this one a try just to pull it. This one is pretty rotted, so it just breaks away. If you walk them out in pieces, you usually can get it out all in one. Threshold comes out. And we have the door out. One reason this is particularly useful is we're showing you how to install a door by yourself. The other day I saw 3 guys installing one door, and that's just ridiculous. We're going to clean up the nails. After we get all our nails pulled, we want to check the framing around here just to make sure it's not rotted. That's pretty sound. That's pretty sound too. This one obviously has signs of it getting wet, which probably caused the rot. We'll make sure to take care of that when we put the new door in. So our door jamb is all cleaned up and ready to go. We're putting in a 32-inch door. Measuring doors is really easy. You just measure the width of the door, and it's either going to come in like a 24, 28, 30, 32, or 36. And all the heights are generally standard. When you're ready to install the new door, make sure you pull the hardware and the little nubbies, as I call them, off the top of the door. You don't want to install the door with your hardware on top. Set that aside. Alright, our door is ready to go in. A lot of times you'll get lucky. If you're pulling out the exact same style door and putting in the same style door, sometimes you don't have to pull this brick mold off. I like to try it like that first because it saves time. Door in. Once you get the door in, I just like to hold it in place and do a couple test runs to see if the door is going to open and shut freely. This one's pretty good. I think we can go ahead and secure it, and if we need to adjust it, we can adjust it later. So our door is shutting awesome. We're going to go open up our hardware screws, and we're going to put them through the hinges. They leave one hole open for you. Just make sure you put it in the position that you had it in when it was working. There we go. Put another one up here. And that goes into the jamb. Do another test run just to make sure we're still working good. Shutting nicely. Alright, once we got the hinge side screwed off, we're going to need to insulate this door, and we're going to need to shim the other side. And although it worked amazingly just popping the door in without pulling the brick mold, your door may be a little different. You may have to pull the interior trim in order to make it work. But you have to pull one side or the other in order to insulate it. So now we're going to gently take our pry bar, a little more gentle than last time since this is our finished product. And we're going to pry it away nice and gently. And pull off this one side of brick mold. And we're probably going to have to do the top as well because I noticed a lot of space up there. Pulling it off. Set that aside. Now you can see our jamb's pretty floaty right here. And we're going to need to shim it. We're going to take some cedar shims. Now you really only need to shim the areas where you're going to put the screws. We're going to take a shim, slide it in there. Now you just want to keep it taut. You don't want to push the door out because there's a lot of give in the door still until we secure it. So you're only going to want to fill that area. You're not going to want to put any pressure on the jamb itself. We usually do 3 screws, one at the top, middle, and bottom. So you're going to go ahead and shim those 3 areas. Seems to be good. After the shims go in, we do another test run. Make sure the door's shutting. Alright, it's pretty good. I think we're ready to screw it. Now we're ready to secure our strike side, which is the closing side. The way I like to do it is I pull back the weather stripping right there and put your screw behind the weather stripping, and that way it's hidden and you don't have a big finished screw right there. Careful not to pinch the weather stripping, but the weather stripping goes right back over and you can't see the screw. Now that we know our door is secured and it's shutting properly, it's not rubbing, it's doing awesome. This line is the same all the way down, it's not all wavy, we know our jamb is in the right spot. The hinge side of our door is so tight to the jamb, we wouldn't need to insulate it. But this other side that we had to shim, there's a lot of air that can get behind there, bringing cold air in the winter and warm air in the summer. We're also going to take the top off and make sure that gets insulated as well. Next we're going to take our side cutters. They clip nails flush. And we're just going to clip all the little nails that are on the trim. Also going to do this piece. So it'll be ready to go back up. Next, we're going to take some batted insulation. We're just going to pull it apart a little bit. It can get itchy and sticky, so we want to keep it off of you as much as we can. But we're just going to start filling the gaps where we can to insulate the door. Stuff it in there. Again, you don't want to wedge the jamb out and put so much in there. You just want to fill the holes. Also going to do the side. If your gap isn't as big as mine, you can use like a putty knife and just kind of stick it in there and run the insulation through. There we go, nice and full. Once we get our door all insulated, we're ready to put the brick mold back on. Put it at the top, line up your corners. Left side, cordless nailer. Pop! Pop! After you close the door and get it all ready to go, you may find these tiny little white dots in the bottom corners. That's what the hardware is for. First of all, the nubbies, which we haven't talked about, goes in the window for the painter. these little wedges are to fix the hole. So here's where we're going to put our little wedge and fix our little corner of daylight, right in this area down there. This little gap right there is the culprit. We're going to snip it and then cut that section out. And now this is going to fit right down in that little slot and cover up that hole with this weather stripping. Peel the sticky back. That way it keeps the weather stripping flared out and insulates that tiny hole. Alright, so that concludes the installation portion, and that seems pretty easy. All that's left to do is to paint the door and caulk it and seal it up, and we're good to go. So for Home Mender Inc., this is Dustin, and hope you learned how to install a door by yourself. Thanks for watching.